Hello, welcome to Chair Yoga. Today we're obviously going to be doing yoga in a chair. We're going to be doing some seated postures, kind of, we'll use it for support in a warrior two and warrior one. And then we'll do some standing postures where we also use the chair for support. You see me here with blocks. This is because I am 4'10" and a half. So if I take the blocks out, I'm not really in a good ergonomically correct position. I want my hips and knees to be in alignment while I'm on here. So I use blocks to bring the floor up to me to help me with a better posture. So if you're a taller person, you may not need blocks at all today. I'm also sitting on a pillow. That helps me a little bit, especially when we open up into warrior one and warrior two on the chair. Again, that might not be something you need. If you've got a harder chair surface, though, that blanket can make those positions a little bit softer, a little bit more comfortable. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Sitting nice and tall, and I'm sitting more towards the front part of my chair. So I don't want my back up against it. My ears, shoulders, and hips are in alignment as best as I can, and I'm zipping up and in. I'm just going to let my hands rest on my thighs. Maybe a slight tuck in the chin. I'm going to settle in here. Just kind of notice where in the body you could soften just a little bit more. So hips may need to soften, they may not be. This is a different seated position than when we're in the floor. Shoulders probably need a little bit more softening, maybe even a little bit through the jaw. Let's open our eyes, gaze cast straight ahead or a few feet down if you want that. Arms to the side. Let's turn the palms towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach, 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 and lengthen. Turning palms away. Grow taller from crown to tail as you bring the arms down. And we'll go again. Palms up and reach, 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 reach. Turning palms away. Grow taller from crown to tail. And one more time. Inhale, reach, 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 reach. Arms touch, well, not the arms, but the hands touch overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Creating an intention for this practice. What would you like to give or receive? You can always dedicate this practice to someone or something. So my intention is to kind of stretch out and open up a little bit here so that when I do decide later to kind of cozy up on the couch, then I'm a little bit looser and I can actually do that and be a little bit more comfortable at ease. So at the time of this recording, it is dark outside from rain and different winter weather that's making its way here. It's just kind of not a great day outside, but it's a great day to be cozy on the inside. I've got my tea over here. So it's going to be my intention. And then from here, let's inhale, take it up. Exhale, I'm going to take my left arm down to the side, and I'm just going to side bend over. And as I do that, I'm pressing a little bit more into the left hip. So wrong side, right hip, and I'm pressing my right rib cage out a little bit, but keeping my right arm long. I'm also being mindful that I'm not collapsing forward with my shoulder. I want to open that up. Breathing and expanding. And using the obliques, I'll come back and we'll reach. Right arm comes down. I'll get the right side, this side, good. And left hip reaches down as I side bend over. So left rib cage comes out. Breathe and expand. And we will do a breath practice here in a moment, but it works better if we kind of just open up a little bit before we do that. Good. So from here, big inhale, exhale. Let's rotate towards the left. Arms can come down. Now you can also take your left hand back to the back of your chair. So whatever chair you have, whatever grip you need, you can take that there. We're twisting from length. I'm relaxing both shoulders. I'm looking behind me. I'm expanding that rib cage. So even with the chair, I don't want to crank through the spine. And then inhale, we'll lift. Exhale, come to center. And we'll do the same thing to the other side. So reaching up, I'm going to rotate to my right, taking arms down, rolling shoulders back. Maybe hand comes somewhere in the chair that's suitable for you and your body. And we will rotate. Breathe and expand. And when you're ready, good, we'll release and come back to center. So let's just take the hands to the shoulders and we'll move forward and back here. Good. And as you move forward and back, come forward a minute here. Could you touch the elbows together? If you can't, that's okay. What I want you to envision is a separation of the shoulder blades. And then from here, let's open, keeping elbows shoulder width apart. So really taking the elbows back, envisioning squeezing the shoulder blades together. Good. And then when you're ready, good. You can take that forward and back again. Maybe take this into some circles. And let's circle in the opposite direction. Good. And we'll relax down. So going into our breath work here, we're just going to do equal part, inhale and exhale. We'll do that for a count of 5. And if you've got the Ujjayi Pranayama in your practice, that back of the throat constriction, you can bring that in here as well. I can't do that and count at the same time. So that's just going to be on you if you want to bring it in. So with eyes closed or open, or gaze cast down, sitting nice and tall. Good. And we will do this 5 times. So I'm going to have my hand here to let you know what round we're on. So from here, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And breathe normal. Good. So you're fine where you are. I'm just going to turn my chair sideways so you can better see what I'm doing here for this first one. Good. So we're going to do kind of a seated roll down and roll up here. So if you have osteoporosis and flexion is not a good thing for you to do, I would just kind of skip this one. But from here, I'm still going to leave my knees nice and bent. And I'm going to envision myself peeling off from an imaginary wall. So I'm still not sitting all the way up against my chair. And then from here, I'm going to nod my chin. I'm going to let my arms relax here too. I'm just going to roll down. My belly button is in. Good. And I'm rolling, and rolling, 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 rolling. And you're just going to go to your limit. And then from here, good. This bone's rooted into my chair, starting from the tailbone. I'm going to stack bone by bone. Shoulders, chin, head are last to come up. And let's do that again. Inhale, exhale, nodding that chin. Good. Rolling down. And you're just going to go to where you can go. You might come deeper than me. You might come not as far as me. We work where we can work. And coming all the way back up. And let's do that one more time. Inhale, exhale, nodding the chin. Belly button is in. I'm keeping that belly button in. Almost imagine like you're trying to fold over a bar or roll over a beach ball, whatever visual best helps you. And then pressing through, coming all the way back up to a seat. Good. Now, while we're here, just kind of get a little movement, whatever little movement works. So I'm just going to kind of move my arms here as I just go into a little bit of rotation. I'm looking where I'm going. Good. And then from here, we'll come to standing. So I'm going to move my blocks out of the way now. I'll bring them back in a moment. Move my tea out of the way as well. Good. Okay. And then from here, because I'm not sitting on my chair right at the moment, I'm going to take my blanket out of the way. Okay. So from here, you want the seat side to be towards you, seat side towards you. And we're going to use this to do a little bit of a half sun salutation. So from here, my feet are going to be hip width apart. My knees are always going to be soft. Inhale, arms up. Think about that scoop again, ears by the bicep. Hands are going to come to your chair. You can stay here or you can bend the knees and keep coming. Good. I'm going to inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. So I'm using the chair as my prop. Nice long spine. Exhale, bending the knees and taking that down. Inhale, pressing into the floor from hip to heel. Good. I'm going to press up. Release the chair when you're ready, coming all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's do that one more time. Inhale and we'll lift. Exhale and we'll fold. Letting the knees bend. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Nice long back here, belly button is in. Exhale and we'll fold again, bending the knees. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, pressing through the feet and the legs. Coming all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Finding your breath, your mountain intention. Okay, from here, let's take this into a downward facing dog. I actually need, for me, a little bit more space. Come back. Good. So from your downward facing dog, I'm just going to bend my knees as I take my hands to the chair. I'm going to take my feet back here, and then I'm going to shift my hips back. So wherever your grip needs to be here, do you need to be a little bit more in the center? Do you need to hold the edge? That's going to be up to you and your body's needs, and also probably dependent on the type of chair. But I'm just going to shift back here a little bit. My knees are soft. My ears are by my biceps. Now you could, if you wanted to, come out a little bit more. Maybe the feet heels don't touch. You find yours. That's too much for me with the chair, so I'm going to bring my feet back in. Now, from here, I'm going to come forward. I'm just shifting forward, so I'm not really coming into a plank too much, and then I'm just going to shift back. Knees can bend. They can be long, ears by the biceps. Maybe turning even your elbows just a little bit more to the ceiling, getting a little bit more of an armpit stretch here. And then when you're ready, good, we'll come back up. Now this time you can stop where you stopped before, or you can find a plank here. So I'm pushing the chair away from me. Good, my heels are not grounded. My belly button is in. Good. And then with maybe a bend in the knees, I'm gonna take this back. Good. So find it where you need to find it. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, coming forward, finding your plank, find your strength. Good. Find your length. And then when you're ready, good. Bending the knees or hinging from the hips. That'll be harder. Coming back, finding your down dog. Now this time when we come into our plank, we're gonna hold. So I'm gonna shift into the plank. Good. Some of you will stay right here. Others are gonna take this into a version of upward facing dog. So I'm just going to roll my shoulders back, taking my chest forward. Good. So I'm not completely hanging here in the back. I'm not hanging at all. My core is nice and tight and engaged. And then from here, I'm using my abs to lift and take that back. Bent knees or long legs to get back there. Good. And then from here, let's walk the feet forward, bending the knees as we lower. Good. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Nice long back. Exhale, and we'll come down. Pressing through the feet, using the chair if you need to, coming up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Good. Finding that breath, mountain, and intention. So we're going to do a chair version of gate pose, and we've done this before on our knees, but we're going to do a version of this one standing. So if you are using a chair that's not padded here, but you think you might need some padding, you can bring in a blanket or something here. But what I'm going to do, and you can hold on to the other side if you need to, I've got my chair on my right side. So I'm going to take my right foot on the chair, and then I'm just going to slide that heel out. Good. Come a little bit forward. Yep. Hips and legs and everything just work better. Good. So I'm turning my hip, knee, and toe towards the ceiling here. I'm trying not to lock out this knee, which is like that. So I want that to be a little soft. Good. And then from here, I'm going to come up and I'm just going to side bend over. And I'm reaching. Good. Now, I'm getting actually a deeper stretch down here, but you might also be getting a stretch here. I am too. I'm just feeling it more on this side today. Usually that's the other way around. Good. And we're breathing and breathing. Good. And then I will use my obliques to come back up. While we're here, I'm just going to bend this foot. Good. And then maybe I decide to find a little bit of a twisty here. So I still have my hip, knee, and toe turned out to the side. So for my twist, I'm going to inhale and lift. From the torso, I'm going to rotate. Maybe I touch my thigh, maybe I don't. Maybe this is where I stay. Maybe I continue to take this back shoulder back a little bit and look behind me. And then from here, I'm going to carefully come out of there. Good. And I'm going to remove this foot. Good. So just kind of march that out a little bit if you need to. Good. We're going to turn and face the chair now. So that same leg that you just had up there, we're going to take that foot back onto your chair. We're going to be strong in your supporting leg here. And I'm going to reach for the back of my chair as I lean in. So I'm getting a little bit of a hip flexor stretch on this side now. Good. This foot position might need to vary for different people. Just be careful that where you put it, you're not putting it at a point where you're going to tip forward. So I'm still pressing back here. My belly button is in. And even though I'm holding to the back of my chair, I've got a light pull towards me. And breathing. Come back to intention. If you use the cozy one, you can come back to that or whatever you chose. And then from here, I'm going to carefully release from there and take this foot down. So now we're going to take that to the other side. So I'm going to take this chair now to the other side, to my left side. Good. Going into the gate pose version first. Good. So I'm going to take this foot here. Good. And then I'm going to slide it out. Careful not to lock it. This hip, knee, and toe are tracking forward as best as I can. My belly button is in. I'm going to take my right arm up. I'm going to side bend over and reaching. Breathe. So I feel this a little bit into the low to mid back as well as the rib cage, and a little bit into the inner thigh and hamstring here. Then I'm going to use my abs, my obliques, my side abs to come up. Good. I'm going to take this foot right here. Good. And we're going to take that into a twist. So from here, inhale, exhale. I'm just going to rotate. Maybe hand stays here, relaxing the shoulder, rolling the back shoulder back, looking behind you. And then when you're ready, good, we'll carefully come out of there and we'll step off. Good. Now from here, we're going to turn. We're going to face the chair. Good. So the leg that you just had up there should be the left one. That foot's going to come back on. Good. We're strong through this back leg, hip, knee, and toe. We're going to track forward. Good. And I'm going to lean in here. Good. So this knee will bend. I don't like the knee to be over the ankle, so it can be kind of, or forward of the ankle, so it can be over or behind it. Good. And then again, I've got my hands on the back of my chair. I'm getting a light pull towards me. Belly button is in. I feel it right through here. You can also take this leg back a little bit if at any time that's no longer a challenge for you. And once you're ready, good. I'm going to carefully come off of there, remove the foot, and just kind of march that out a little bit. Okay, so now that we're a little bit more open, I'm going to take my chair back to center, and we're going to work on some warrior 1 and warrior 2. I'm going to bring my blanket back in here, just so that the metal part, when I do this, doesn't bring me discomfort, okay? And I'm going to have a block on each side, so when I go to each side, I can have it. So again, you may not need a block if you're a taller person. This is so I have better alignment here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a seat on the chair. Good. We're going to go towards the right side first. So I'm going to hold on to the back of my chair and shift here towards the right. Good. Now, I'm sitting towards the edge of my chair. Good. I've got my right leg coming off the front side here. I'm going to put my foot on this block to help me. Good. And I'm going to step my left foot back. So this is warrior 1 first. Okay. So I'm just going to warrior prep. Good. Hip, knee, and toe track. And so I'm a little bit at an angle here. So just like when you're standing, you're still trying to press through. Good. Hip, not so much the hips, but a little bit. Torso's going to come more forward, and I'm going to lift up. So you can even press the heel and the big toe mount of this foot into the floor, or your block if you're using that. I'm strong through the back edge of the back foot. I'm reaching. My belly button is in. My shoulders are down. So the chair here helps you with a little bit of balance if you don't have the strength yet in the legs to do a standing version of this. But we also want to engage our muscles even though we're doing chair yoga. So we can get strong enough to do these things off the chair. It's also nice to just do chair yoga, even if you can do it off the chair, something a little bit different. Good. And then we'll take that down. Good. From here, I'm just going to take it back. Belly button is in. So you can lessen your engagement in this front leg here a little bit. You might feel a little bit more in the back just because you are on the chair. The weight's going to go back a little bit here. And coming up. Good. So from here, your feet and legs are going to be the same. Now we're going to take this into warrior 2. So if you need to kind of come out of that for a moment, kind of get that little break there. And when you're ready, good, you can take it back. You're still in that warrior prep. So hip, knee, and toe right at a 45-ish degree angle. So now I'm going to think about My front hip coming back a little bit, back hip a little forward. Good. So I'm at a little bit of an angle. I'm not quite squared off. And then from there, I'm going to open my chest to the side, and then I'm going to reach. Here's my warrior two. So now I'm going to press into my heel and big toe mound. I'm pressing through the back edge of the back leg. I'm looking over that front finger. Now, I talk a lot about the legs and warrior, but also pay attention to your arms. Could you reach from fingertips or from shoulders to fingertips? Doing a little bit of a stretch and engagement through here. Good. Now, let's take the hands towards the wall and take them down. And up and down. And up and down. And up and down. And up and down. Good. And reach. Spread the fingers wide. Good. Now you can take the palms facing the floor. And we'll take that back. Good. An exalted variation. How far back you go depends on you. And then breathing. And we'll come up and come out of here. Good. From here, I'm going to release the back leg. Carefully come back to the front. And then from here, we're going to take that to the other side. So coming now towards my left, so I'm going to get my block reset over here. So I'm on the edge of that chair. So now my right leg's going to come back. Good. I'm going to kind of warrior prep it. This is my harder side, so I'm not going to actually be on my mat here. Yeah. But I am, angling that hip. Good. Now this front hip's going to come back a little bit. Your back hip's going to come a little bit more forward. So you're a little bit more squared. The hip bones are a little bit more squared. And then from here, coming up. Good. And now you're in your warrior one. Zipping up, relaxing the shoulders. Good. Pressing in the big toe, pinky toe mounds and the heel of the front. Pressing into the back edge of the foot with the back. Breathing. Good. Right arm's going to come down, zip up that front body, just a little bit of an extension as you come back. And then coming back up. Good. So if you need to kind of release a little bit, release. We're going to take that into warrior two now. Warrior two. So I'm going to press back again. I'm in that warrior prep position. This time, your front hip, this hip, is going to come back. This back hip is going to come forward just a little bit, but we're not squared off. You're at a little bit of an angle. And then from here, I'm going to open the chest to the side, reaching arms long behind me, looking over that front finger. So again, I'm reaching from shoulders to fingertips here. I'm strong through the back leg, strong in the front. And then just like before, we'll take that up and down. So this is a little bit of a nerve stretch. Some people call it nerve threading. Just kind of notice how the sensations change in the hand and the fingers as you do this. And we'll come here and hold for a moment, spreading the fingers wide, turning the palms back down. And when you're ready, good. We'll take that into exalted warrior, reaching up. Belly button is in. And when you're ready, good. Coming back, good. Relaxing that back leg, good. Bringing that back up, and then you can come to a seat. So for me, I'm going to bring both of my blocks back in here. We're going to go to a little bit of a hip opener stretch through a seated figure four. So I'm going to come to the top part or front part of my chair here. Good. And if you're taller, you can take or you're not as flexible, kind of a way to get into this one, you can take your legs more forward, and then you can maybe pick up, I'm going to start with the right side, pick up that right ankle right over that knee. For some of you, this might be enough. Others, you can drag that foot back in, making it deeper. I don't need to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick up my right ankle, place it over that right knee. Good. Now, again, different things for different people. With your hand, not the knee joint, but to the thigh, you can press and kind of work on that a little bit. Another way to deepen this is to lean forward with a nice long back. Good. Your toes are going to point towards your knee here. So this is a seated version of figure 4. We sometimes do on the back. I should say a seated in the chair version. Sometimes we do this one seated in the floor. And then once you're ready, good, we'll come back up and we'll undo. So carefully undo in the way that your body needs you to undo. You need to lengthen the leg back out and then uncross. Always okay. So again, going to the other side. Do you need to take that leg out first and cross over? Or are you okay to just pick up that left ankle and take it above the knee? So get there in the way that your body needs you to get there, knowing different sides might need a different path. Good. So again, if this is enough, you can stay here and just kind of do little presses. I'm pressing into the thigh, not the knee joint, taking toes towards the knee, or you can lean forward. Got a bony knee on this side. Good. Leaning forward, long spine. As you breathe here with nice big breaths, return to your intention. And once you're ready, good, we'll come up and carefully undo in the way that you need to undo. So for this next one, good, I'm going to take my chair again. I'm just going to turn it towards the side. And again, you may or may not need blocks here. But what we're going to do, and I'm going to take my blocks more forward, is we're going to do a chair version of a seated forward fold. So we did a little bit of a version of that in the beginning when we were doing a roll down. But here we're going to have long legs. So this is kind of like a seated in the floor version. Legs can be together or hip width apart. I'm hip width apart today. I'm pointing my toes back towards my face. Good. And then from here, zipping up, big inhale, exhale, long spine, lean forward. And then when you can come no more, take your hands down. You may or may not be able to touch the toes here. Even though I can touch the toes here because I'm elevated and I'm at a different angle than when I am when I'm in the floor, it's better for me to rest my hands on my shins. Okay. And then maybe from here, I can take that chest a little bit more forward, finding just a little bit more length in that spine. And then once you're ready, good. Carefully walk your hands back up and coming out of there. Good. I'm going to move these blocks to the side. And I'm just going to take this blanket off here and move it to the side for right now. Good. So we're going to come into a pyramid stretch here on the chair, and then a warrior 3, and then we will be ready for a shavasana. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start by taking my left leg forward. Okay. I'm going to lean forward from here, coming to the chair. So you can come to the back, you can come to the seat. I'm going to take my right leg back. I'm in a parallel railroad track alignment here, and my back heel is not going to ground. And then I'm going to take my left hip back, right hip forward. Good. And then, so now I'm in a pyramid. So I'm kind of stretching this hamstring here. Now I can deepen this by taking my hands more forward. I can take my chair more forward. Okay. So find this where you need to find it. And I like my chair to be a little bit more forward so I can get my ears more by my bicep. But if that's not where you are today, then don't go that deep. The front knee has a little micro bend in it. We just don't want to walk it out. And then from here, when you're ready, good. I'm just going to lift a little bit. I'm going to put a bend in that front knee. And then from here, we're going to take a grounded warrior three. So I'm reaching forward. I'm going to press into that left leg. Good. Finding that warrior three. So from here, I'm pressing away from my chair. My back leg, that hip, knee, and toe are pointing downward, not out to the side. That's a different pose. Good. Strong here. Good. You've got a little bit more balance. Maybe take your hand, keep the left hand on. You know, you can lift up the right. Maybe right hand comes down and you can lift up the left. And then taking that down. Good. And then your right leg's going to come up to meet the left. Just bend the knees here a little bit. And then coming back up to standing. And we're going to do that all on the other side. So my right leg now is going to come forward. Let me bring this back in. Sometimes I never know. I think I'm more flexible than I am. Or other times I'm more flexible than I think. And you just have to kind of play with different things. So my right leg is forward. Good. I'm going to take my hands to the chair. I'm going to take my left leg back. Good. So I'm in parallel railroad track position. So my feet are hip width apart and they're side by side. Good. My back heel is not grounded. For some of you, this might be it. Okay. Others, you might be able to come in just a little bit more. Okay. Others, maybe you grab the back. Others, maybe you can move that chair a little bit more forward. So find yours, play with yours. Right hip comes back. Let me take that back. There we go. Breathe and expand. And then from here, when you're ready, you can come up a little bit, putting a bend in that right knee, and then find your warrior three here. Good. So I'm pushing my chair away from me. My left hip, knee, and toe are going to point down towards the floor. And you may not even be lifted this high. Maybe you're a little bit lower. That's fine. You go where you can go where you're stable. If you're not stable when you're lower, you won't become more magically stable taking it higher. So we don't move on to the next thing until we're stable with the first thing. And then just like the other side, if you want to play with balance, maybe you can take the right arm out, coming down, maybe left arm out. That's the harder one. This is my harder side. Woo. Notice I did that last one for a reason. And then back leg's going to come up to meet the front and just bend those knees. And coming back up to standing. So you have options here for your Shavasana. You can come down onto the floor and lay down there, maybe with legs or the shins and everything resting up here. That's a really nice supported Shavasana with the chair. Or if you would prefer to just sit in the chair, you can do that as well. So today, I am actually going to come onto the ground and do mine. Good. And because I'm shorter, I think I'm going to put I'm going to just put the blanket underneath my hips. If you've got a block, you can put that under the hips too. And a lot of what you need under the hips really depends on the height of your chair. But just because I'm a short person, I've got to do a little bit of different things. In a little bit. Okay. On there. Good. And then here. And carefully coming back. Good. So once you get where you're going, just roll the shoulders back. And coming back to your intention. I'll leave you here for a few moments. And taking some deep breaths here. For those of you that took Shavasana on the floor with legs up on the chair, just kind of notice maybe a little bit of release or reverse blood flow on the legs and feet from having them up there versus sitting in the chair or doing a traditional Shavasana, completely lying flat on the floor. And then wherever you are in your Shavasana, you take some deeper breaths. Choosing stillness, so gently take head and neck from side to side. If you're seated, maybe take some neck rolls here. Choosing stillness, or invite movement of fingers and toes. Choosing stillness, if you're on the floor, kind of take your feet down towards the back legs or front legs of the chair. And kind of push that out away from you, coming into bent knees. And then you choose to stay there or bring your knees into the chest. If you're seated in your chair, good. Carefully round forward, maybe hugging underneath the backs of the legs. And then choosing stillness. If you're on the floor, carefully make your way in the way that you need to onto your side. If you're seated in the chair, you're just going to stay right where you are. And then those of you that are on the floor, carefully press yourself up to a seat. And then from here, once you're ready, we'll open our eyes. Let's take a big inhale and reach up overhead, touching palms together. Exhale as we come down. Stop the thumbs right over the forehead for good and true thought, to the lip for good and kind words, and to the heart for open and loving hearts. Knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted, no gain is ever reversed. May you be safe, may you stay well, may you have a cozy day ahead. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.